This isn't a steak. Why would you call it that on your menu?
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Just give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Wait. I worry what you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Do you understand?
What's happening?
Oh, everything.
Everything.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Well, Dave, I just noticed that both our teams are playing tonight.
They are. Yours is probably playing now, right?
Yeah, they could be actually playing Vandy right now in Knoxville.
Well, you probably win because Vandy just lost one of their guards for the rest of the year.
Oh, no. Hate it for them.
I can tell.
We handled them at Vanderbilt, which is usually a tough place to play because a lot of people blame the way the court's laid out. It's kind of everything's right on the floor.
There's no other arena in the country with bigger home court advantage than that. Minnesota is close, but Vandy has it won.
Yeah, nobody's used to shooting like that. They're up 32-15. Tennessee is at halftime. So,
well, hopefully you can hold on.
Yeah, if it was the Lady Vols, I'd be a little worried because they've lost 2 games back-to-back to top 5 opponents where they had the lead to begin with, gave it up. Oh, Notre Dame and Mississippi State.
10 out of our last 12.
10 out of your last 12?
Something like that.
Ooh, ouch. They're not as good as usual?
They are down and out this year.
Man, little down year for both men and women, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we thawed out a little bit, Dave. All the snow and ice is gone down here. I don't know about up there.
Repeat that question. I got distracted.
Oh, sorry. So we're all thawed out down here around the Memphis and Southwest Tennessee area.
Yeah, we finally lost our deep thaw, or deep freeze. I mean.
Yeah. We got a warm rain on top of that Sunday night and Monday, so that kind of helped thaw things out. But now it's all muddy.
Oh yeah, we had a torrential downpour last night with a little bit of hail in it, but wasn't no big stuff.
Okay. Well, that might be good for your business.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't big enough.
Okay. Not enough to get you overbooked.
No, that's usually a little bit smaller than a walnut when it starts getting fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you do a lot of I guess a lot of work when there's all this snow and ice, I guess for collisions and people having wrecks, not necessarily hitting another car, but just bumping around in their driveways and mailboxes and everything?
They do get a little busier. Hey, hang on just 1 minute.
I heard Bear.
Yeah, hang on just a second.
Bear Rose, the newest member of the Rose family, barking in the background there, which I need to get on to Dave when he comes back about putting sweaters on dogs. God gave them a fur coat, and humans are putting little sweaters on them, make them run around in the snow. I just don't get it. Let's get some listener feedback on that. Who's pro sweater on the dog, and who's anti sweater on a dog? I'm anti sweater on a dog. It's even worse when it's on a cat. So that's our animal fashion portion of the show. We'll get that out of the way early while we're waiting on Dave to get back. Matter of fact, we're going to get our guest on here in just a minute. We're going to talk to FLW's Joe Opager. Have him on just for a few minutes. Talk about the FLW season that's kicking off this week down in Okeechobee. Hope you all have joined. If you play fantasy fishing on FLW, look up our league, TOS-POD, TOS-pod. It's free to join. Just get in there, create you a roster, join our league.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
There's Dave. I was just telling everybody about our fantasy picks.
You might want to get you some Jeopardy music to play tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Seem to be in and out.
Did you get Bear settled down?
Oh, it wasn't Bear I was worried about. I had something else going on.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go ahead and get Mr. Joe Opager on the show. Well, he's a new father, so we don't want to spend too much of his time before he gets on the road for the FLW season.
Exactly.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, Joe, doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing well.
Good. How's everything up your ways? Are you guys still under about 2 feet of ice?
Oh, yeah, we are. We got hit with a big snowstorm yesterday. So.
Oh, wonderful.
How big do y'all consider a snowstorm before it's big?
I would say 8 to 10 inches is a big snowstorm. So I think we got a little over a foot last night, and it's the first time in a couple years. So it was good for us.
I guess that's. I guess before that it was just all cold, so you got the ice fishermen were happy.
Yeah, absolutely. It gave us some good ice, and then we got hammered with the snow last night. So it's pretty standard Minnesota winter.
Well, David and I would like to.
It's been cold everywhere, though.
We would like to thank you for sending that
Nicolette,
ice down here.
Yeah, that screwed up our duck hunt. Do you know where Nicolette, Minnesota is?
I don't think so. I've heard of like Nicolette Island before, which is down in Minneapolis, and there's there's streets in Minneapolis called Nicolette Avenue, but I've never actually heard of Nicolette, the city.
Well, a friend of mine shot a duck this weekend, and it was banded in Nicolette, Minnesota.
Wow, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's where it was born, hatched, everything, and he shot it over the weekend. They traced it back to Nicolette, Minnesota. I think I'm saying it right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we say it.
Yep. So it came straight down the Mississippi.
Nicolette, population 1,093. Part of the Mankato. Was it Nicolette County, Minnesota? Part of the Mankato something or other, is according to Wikipedia.
Well, if that population's off of ducks and that, it's now at 1192.
Hey, Joe, we don't want to keep you too long. First of all, let me ask you, how's the newest member of the Opager family?
Well, she's doing good. Do you happen to hear her back in the background?
No, I haven't heard her.
Oh, I'll say we're in the car and Mama's in the back seat trying to keep her quiet. So you hear her crying. That's what's going on. But no, she's doing great. She's 6 months old now and starting to coo and caw a little bit and going to be crawling at any time. So life is good.
Man, that's awesome. Good deal. Well, I know FLW season is on the cusp, ready to start later this week down at Okeechobee. A lot of anglers are ready to get going. It's been a long, cold winter, as we just mentioned. For a lot of us in the South, I know Luke Duncan was on Instagram just recently talking about it was, I don't know, probably single digits down there his area of Tennessee the other day, and he was headed to Florida, happy to be down there, or at least it was like 50 degrees. So,
right.
Give us a little rundown of what your thoughts are for this week. I haven't heard much as far as the reports of the fishing, but it sounds like I've seen a few guys putting Instagram pictures, or what we call instigatoring, of putting gators on their Instagram, so that a few people are at least finding something to take pictures of.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they're posting gators, that's not really a good sign, because that means they're not catching any of those monsters that Okeechobee is known for. But, we're expecting a great event. It's obviously cold down there, so it's kind of, in relative terms, Florida, 40, 50 degrees is really cold, and it, can shut the fishing down sometimes. And unfortunately, the weatherman's forecasting another cold front to come through this weekend. So it may kind of change what people have been seeing from what they've been practicing in the last couple of days. But the good news is, the fish are still there. They're still going to bite. Someone's going to catch them. And down in Okeechobee, there's always the possibility for 10-pounders, which is really exciting. And, we're just excited to get the season kicked off and kind of, get season number 23 of the FLW Tour underway.
23 seasons already. It sounds like a lot of excitement. Got a few new anglers coming in. A couple pretty cool stops throughout the year. What would you say would be the change to the schedule this year that you're most looking forward to?
It's kind of tough to say. We're heading back to some fisheries that we haven't been to in a while, and I'm really excited about that. We're going back to Lake Lanier. We haven't been there since 2012 when Jacob Wheeler won the Forest Wood Cup. That was actually my first full season with FLW. So Lake Lanier is a fun place to go to. Lake St. Clair we're going back to as well. And I had just started as an intern with FLW back when Larry Nixon won up there in 2011. So that was one of the first events that I ever got to work and cover, but I didn't actually get to go to the event. So I'm really looking forward to going up there. And, there's no Beaver Lake this year, which is really kind of new for us. It's something, we've gone there perennially for many, many years since the tour has started. So not going there this year kind of opened some things up. And now, we've got 2 events down in Florida to kick it off the season and a couple events up in Kentucky. And, we're just hitting some fantastic fisheries this year at just the right times, I think.
Yeah, I know Dave and I are looking forward to your Kentucky stops and Tennessee stops there. Kentucky Lake and Cumberland looks like they'll be pretty good stops this year. Different times of year.
Absolutely. Kentucky Lake, that's FLW's home. So it's a lake that we always love going to. And, like Okeechobee, guys always smash them on Kentucky Lake. So we should be hitting it right about the right time of the year there in June. And, I think they're going to be just starting to get out deep. So that'll be a lot of fun to see. And then, of course, Cumberland is one of the prettiest lakes that we go to, all across the country. And it's just great fishing, great smallmouth fishing. And it's a real intimate setting there. And, we love Kentucky, that's for sure.
It's just not that good when you have to use your phone, though, is it? That place is bad for service.
Yeah, it definitely makes the FLW live broadcast a little challenging. But, they have managed to make it work last year. There were they had 5 cameras out, and usually there was 1 or 2 guys that would have service and we could get the camera on at least. But definitely some challenges when we go to some of these smaller lakes, that's for sure. But then, Okeechobee as well. That's one of the biggest lakes that we go to, and that can be a challenge too. So, it just kind of depends on the provider. And, Peyote Perryman, our TV producer, and the whole FLW Live crew, they do a great job. And, if they don't got footage to work with for that day, they'll do a lot of in-studio stuff and do a lot of, footage from the previous day and stuff like that. So they'll make it work, and they'll still be a good show for the fans.
Well, like we mentioned, we got the fantasy fishing also coming up, and of course, TOS-pod. If you guys are interested in joining the Outdoor Scoreboard podcast group over there, we got a lot of our listeners that joined in over there. Give us real quick, Joe, a couple of your thoughts. Who are a couple of your favorites? Maybe one dark horse for the Okeechobee event.
Sure. Well, we appreciate you guys running the league, as always. I'm going to join this year. I'm going to get in on this league. And I got to warn you, last year, as a pundit, if you followed my picks every event, I think you wound up in something like 8th place overall, and you were in the running for the $10,000 right at the end of the year. So make sure to read my pundit picks every event and compete against me in the Outdoor Scoreboard League. So we appreciate that. As far as some picks, Okeechobee is really wide open this year just because of the high water levels and the hurricane last year really kind of changed the lake. A lot of the places that had the grass and hydrilla, it's no longer there, or it's moved completely, and that's shuffled the fish around. So, talking to some of the guys like Brandon McMillan and Scott Martin, it took away some of that local advantage. And Scott really is excited for the tour to come to town because he knows that, those FLW Tour pros, somebody's going to find some new areas, and it's going to kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit down there. So it makes fantasy fishing a little tough. But that being said, there's a lot of great values. The salary makers this year, it was based on the AOI standings from last year. So because a lot of the Elite Series guys are coming back and transferring over, guys like Kobe Krieger, Chad Morgenthaler, Chad Grigsby, guys like that are returning to the FLW Tour this year and have had a lot of success in Okeechobee. They can be had on your roster for, I think, $6 to $8, a lot of them. So they offer a great value for when you're trying to fill out your team. But, the standard Okeechobee 6 are absolutely the favorites. I mean, Brandon McMillan, Scott Martin, those are the guys you're going to want on your team. And, of course, guys like, Brian Thrift and Andy Morgan, they catch them every single lake we go to every time. So it's hard not to put them on your team as well. But should be a fun start to the season, and we're excited to see how the lake has changed.
You're talking about how successful you were last year. I think I picked up on that a little bit too late. So my strategy this year, Joe, is I'm going to go along with Joe's picks and maybe have one angler different and see if I just can't beat Joe. That's my goal.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. I mean, take my top 6 and then fill out your bottom 2.
There you go.
Change it up a little bit, and who knows? Maybe you can beat me. I may have jinxed myself, though. I may have just, used all my fantasy luck last season, and I might bomb out this year. Who knows? But we'll see by Sunday. We'll figure out how we do in this event number 1.
Well, it's kind of like baseball and pitching when a guy's having a shutout and a no-hitter, and it gets about the 7th inning, and you really hate to mention it, but you're thinking it.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, I did have one guy that played my picks through the first 5 events of the season, and he was doing well. I mean, we both were. And then for some reason, those last 2 events, he kind of veered off and made his own picks, which kudos to him, but unfortunately it didn't work out, and he fell off the leaderboard. So.
Well, whatever you do, don't take all the guys that we pick on our show, because usually our track record is about 50-50, and it's usually the ones I want to pick don't do well, and the guy I drop at the 11th hour before the tournament takeoff is the guy who actually wins it. So I would say listen to Joe. If you guys are listening, listen to Joe's picks. Take ours for the eliminating of water type picks.
And I would suggest listening to or watching the videos that are posted to FLWfishing.com. Kyle Wood and Jody White are down there right now throughout the guys' practice this week, and we're interviewing guys as they came off the water. So you can get a lot of little hints on how guys are doing from those as well. I haven't gotten the opportunity to tweak my team yet, but there may be still 1 or 2 late-minute changes, but I'll make sure to post them on my pundit picks if I do.
All right, good deal. Dave, you got anything else before we let Joe get back to focusing on the road?
Hey, I do not. So you have a daughter, Joe?
I do. My 6-month-old daughter was born in July, Kendall Joe.
Well, if you need any help, let me know. I've got 3 of them, and they're all teenagers.
I hear
good
that's
times,
when it gets kind of tough, so I may
good times ahead, brother. Good times ahead.
I'm just trying to enjoy every minute while I can.
Absolutely. Nothing better.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, Joe. We'll let you get back to driving there. Good luck the rest of the season. Maybe we can check in with you before the Cup, kind of see how the season's going. I'll probably be down at Kentucky Lake. I don't know if you'll be there, but I'll be there for that event. Probably
Absolutely.
Checking in, and we'll see if we can't catch up.
Hey, that sounds great. Thank you guys so much for having me on. Thank you for running the TOS Fantasy Fishing League. We really appreciate that as well. And thanks for following FLW. I'll be happy to come back anytime you guys want me.
Great deal, Joe. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Yeah. I imagine he's going to have you on speed dial, Dave.
Huggies, diapers, and Similac formula. That was our go-to deal there. The Loves and other brands didn't work out as good as the Huggies, so we went with the Huggies and stuck with them. I'm the type, once I like something and it works, I don't ever go away.
So just like some of your fishing stuff, you got your line that's your favorite, you got your hooks that's your favorite, your rods and reels, and then you got Huggies.
And then you got Huggies and Similac.
Can you imagine the Similac boat coming down the Kentucky Lake?
Well, it's either Similac low iron or Similac with extra stuff, so it depends on, depends on what you got in it.
There you go. I mean, you get, you burn a lot of calories out there, Dave, on the lake, too.
Exactly. Well, I don't know I don't think they make Similac for adults.
Well, there's a market for it, I guess. It's kind of like Ensure. I guess Ensure is your adult version.
It must be, yeah.
Yeah. Some of that thick calorie, liquidy, shaky stuff.
Yeah. Ugh.
Man.
No doubt. Rough. Well, Matt, MLF has also started back, and I've watched a couple selects already.
I have too. I did not watch. I guess episode 3 was on last weekend, but
I'm only about 30 minutes into it. I had to hit pause.
I'll try to catch up on that one tonight. But the first couple were interesting.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
Wesley Strader.
Pretty good.
Wesley Strader came through there, and he sounded like he was putting things together early on in the game.
Yeah.
And that Ouachita is an interesting place. I mean, looking at the show, it looks like a lot like Kentucky Lake. I didn't realize it looked like that.
What I was watching, the two Arkansas locals Rose had just caught one. I think he caught a pound 4, but Suggs was still struggling at the moment. But it was still period 1.
I remember back a while back, Mark Rose was talking about they knew they had an MLF in Arkansas, but he didn't know where. And
yeah.
But I mean, that's right up his alley. You would think he'd been over there before. But the one thing that confused me was the second episode. Kevin Short, every time you saw him, his back was to the bushes, and he was throwing somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. And he's always in 7th or 8th place, and he kept saying, "Well, them guys are catching them. I don't know how." Next the guy it cuts to is flipping a bush.
Yeah. Yeah, there's. Sometimes you get scratch your head at that stuff, and you're like, man, what are you thinking there?
Yeah. I think he was banking on finding a big school of 15-ounce spots.
1-pounders?
Yeah.
Well, it has to be a pound now.
Does it have to? I thought it was 15.
No, it has to be a pound.
1 pound. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he was looking for.
I don't really think you need to watch a professional catching 14 ounces. I mean, woohoo, that's exciting right there.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
So, but I got another show I've been watching. It ain't fishing related, but they do a lot of fishing on it, Matt. It's called Alaska, The Last Frontier, the Kilchers. It's pretty cool. They do a lot of fishing on that show.
What do they fish for up there? Salmon?
Yeah, salmon, trout, whatever, halibut. One gal on there, she's a halibut catching lady, but this dude built his own boat, like this big metal. I don't think it's aluminum. It's got like 2 Suzuki 300s on the back. Dude, that's like a $40,000-$50,000 boat. The dude just built it on his own in his shop in town. It was crazy.
You just kind of Frankenstein pieces together?
No, it's pretty slick boat. It's got like you let the ramp down in the front and stuff. It's pretty slick.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of that show. I've never kind of just surfing the channels. I've never really paused.
Oh, I've been watching it. Yeah, I DVR'd all the time, and man, I got hooked on it. It's freaking awesome. I'd like to go for and just hide out for a while. It's pretty cool. Well, Matt, pull your FLW team up. See who you got.
Yeah.
I actually today I remembered I had some TOS questions in a note section of my phone. And I was cleaning my phone out a while back, and I thought, well, that's done. And I forgot that my FLW fantasy password was in there, so I had to go reset it today.
Yeah, it's been so long. I had to do the same thing. You know me and my passwords.
I thought I knew it, and I tried it, and it wasn't it. So, oh well.
All right, I'm in there. See, click on my team. Yeah, it's gonna make me log in again.
Oh, Matt, we couldn't go any farther with FLW based in Marshall County, Kentucky, with the tragedy over there today with 2 students losing their lives, more injured. Absolute horrible. First thing this morning before school started.
Yeah, it was very sad news.
Yeah, a bad deal.
It does kind of touch close to home. You know, a friend of the show, I think her cousin was one of the injured, and Dad had just told me this afternoon, sent me a text. One of our fishing friends that lives up that way, I think was a youth minister, and one of their kids was one of the injured as well.
Oh God!
So we're keeping them in our prayers, and hopefully we find out more about what exactly caused this, get some help for that individual.
That's a bad deal. Yeah, that's a bad deal. No need to speculate on what's going on or anything. But I had a cousin of mine, one of her grandkids was one of the ones that was injured, non-gun injured, what they're calling it. She actually got trampled with everybody running. So
yeah,
hopefully she'll get better soon, and that place will never be the same. I know that. I know when the tragedy struck in Paducah 20 years ago, it's been a bad deal. And I heard today on the radio, a girl that was at Heath High School 20 years ago had a kid at Marshall County today.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's a bad deal there.
But I do know one thing about that community that sometimes you just don't see it. I did come across a tweet later today of one of the girls, one of the students there that had been shot, had actually put up a picture, said she was in the hospital, had a bullet in her chest, but she asked everybody to pray. She said that the people who were injured were in pain, but so was the shooter, and she said asked for prayers for him too. So that's something you don't necessarily hear all the time.
Yeah.
So let's hope everything can, go forward. We'll find out more hopefully in the next few days. We won't speculate, but let's hope everything turns out all right.
Yeah, that's a bad deal there. I'm reading an article now on WPSD's app, and I know Jeff Defew that fishes in that area. His body shop is right across the street from that high school, basically. So I think he said he had a lot of people running over there to this shop and getting out of the way and everything else.
Yep. Been a rough 2018 so far.
Man, it has. There's stuff going on everywhere.
What do you say we jump into some fantasy picks? Let's dust off our brain here.
I got no idea on any of it, so I'm just going to throw money at them, Matt. I'm going to throw a little grass people, a little experienced people, and whatever else happens.
All right. Well, who you got so far?
Well, I'm going to take me some McMillan because I think you'd be dumb not to.
Mm-hmm.
And then a guy that's won there before, not from there, but does have a decent record down there. Go get a little Morgan Taylor. My next two are what you call no-brainers. The Thrift and Morgan pick. Next, I'm going to go with some Niggemeyer. He's probably got experience down there. Plus, from Texas, he knows how to fish some grass. I'm going to take a little mojo with some James Watson.
Wow, okay.
And experienced is with Suggs, and I guarantee you Matt Reed knows how to catch a fish there. So I got $20 left over, Matt, but I don't know what to do with it. Could I cash it in? Just have them mail me a 20?
Yeah. Can you roll it over to the next event?
That would be nice.
It'd be like a rollover bucks.
That would be nice.
Yeah. What's your weight?
Oh, I haven't got that far yet, man.
I'm not sure.
4 days.
Some people like to say.
I mean, I don't know. Let's see. That first day of that coast, that dude had a 20-pound bag. Probably can't do that for 4 days. Let's do an 18 point. That average 72.8. What about that? But too low or too high, Matt?
No, would you say 72?
72.9.
I think that sounds pretty. That sounds pretty in line. You know, like Joe said, there was a little bit of changing weather coming, and you can see a guy just catch 25, 27 pounds day one, come in the next day with 5 squeakers. Yeah. So it's not going to be
that lake, and that lake should not have a 12-inch limit, in my opinion.
No.
Dude, it's freaking Okeechobee. Put a 15 on it.
Put a 15 on it to keep you from culling so much. Those little 12-inch males on the beds. Culls 15-inch males on bed. Yeah. All right. Well, I kind of went a little different, Dave. I ended up with $32 left over.
Oh wow!
So, but I did take some big sticks. I've got the Brandon McMillan. Got to get a little bit of that McMillan action down there.
Absolutely.
And he's priced accordingly for this event. I think he's up there. I think $31. But then I took his brother Jared, who, if I would probably never pick him the rest of the year, but he's a rookie this year, kicking off in his home lake. I got a feeling hopefully he can put enough together to at least finish in the top 30. And for $6, couldn't turn that down. Don't know much about him, though. I don't see him on Instagram much. You know, you see Brandon on there and Breezy and all them, but you don't see Jared on there much, or I don't. So I'm going to guess. I'm going to take a little. It's not that big of a risk if knowing his family's history down there.
Well, you might as well.
Might as well.
I buzzed right over without seeing that name at all. You probably just beat. Of course, a lot of people used to beat me. I did have a good one last year. I can't remember which one it was. I had like an 11th, and then one of the FLW staff was in the top 10. So technically, they should have been thrown out and put me in 10th. So
there you go. Yeah, you should have overthrown them. That's kind of like, you know, if a company's giving away free popsicles and an employee up there wins, they should not win.
That's what I'm thinking, Matt.
So I'm going to round out my my local team, my home lake advantage team with Scott Martin. So he's bookended by 2 McMillans.
There you go.
And Scott's only $17. Of course, Joe said it was based on the AOI standings, final AOI or Cup standings. Or did he say AOI?
I think AOI.
Okay. So, you know, Scott kind of had a little bit down here last year. So I think that's a bargain. Even though he can struggle anywhere, I figured this is a place he's going to do good. Went on from there and went up Florida a little ways and got John Cox.
Oh, there you go.
I can't believe he doesn't have a profile picture on here.
But
no.
How can John Cox not have a profile picture and he won the cup?
Yeah, what? I know. What? I hope this is the right John Cox. He's $27. I'm assuming there's not another one.
Well, how do you not have? Well, there's this picture. What the?
Yeah, I know.
Opager, you got to fix it. You got to fix it.
Yeah, come on, Joe. Get with your graphics team.
And you would think, well, I'm looking up here at my team. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Did it not save it?
Uh-oh. It's supposed to save it all automatically.
Oh, there it is. McMillan doesn't have a picture either. How many times does he fish with them?
Oh, he's fished from BFLs all the way up.
Yeah. Crazy.
Must not have been there on school picture day. You ever know those kids that just don't show up for school picture day?
Yeah.
They don't ever make it up. All right, so I got John Cox. I'm going to go JT Kenny. I'm playing it safe. I'm doing a layup. I'm playing chalk.
10 cupping her out there, Matt.
I'm 10 cup chalking it right now. JT Kenny, good history down there. He was just there for the Costa. So he's got a little advanced knowledge of what the lake looks like, at least. Might help his practice. Then I'm going to go Morgan Taylor. I'm going a little TOS mojo with Morgan Taylor. He's done well down there. I think he's won down there.
Yeah.
$6 is hard to beat. Joshua Weaver. $24.
I've heard that name thrown around a little bit.
He is being thrown around. A lot of people are saying he might be doing pretty good. He's finished in the top 20, I think, down there a couple times. He's done well. And then Scott Canterbury is my last pick. Notice anybody missing?
Anybody missing?
Yes. If you know me and who I pick for FLW, I when I pulled up my fantasy page, there's two guys usually, or at least one guy that's always on there.
One of them?
No Morgan.
Oh, yeah, you had Thrift, right?
Yeah. No Thrift.
Yeah. Okay, have at it, man.
So I might pull out Scott Canterbury and put Morgan or Thrift in there. Did I say Thrift is going to have or his wife is going to have a new baby? Another baby?
Well, they're going to, yeah, most babies are new, but.
not an old baby. Yeah. I don't know if that will change his focus or not.
I don't know.
Would it change your focus?
Well, maybe he'll quit smoking now with a new kid.
I hope so. That for his sake. Yeah.
Matt, I just dropped me some Matt Reed for some Larry Nixon.
Okay. Hey, Larry Nixon just keeps on going with these young guys.
And now I've got $10 left.
All right, so you can go get you a cheeseburger or something at McDonald's. Go get you a fancy cheeseburger.
Two value meals at Chick-fil-A with my kids as discount and have some left over.
There you go.
Got to use it if they offer it.
I
had to turn down tickets to the night's game, Matt. I was going to do it, but I didn't want to do that twice. So.
Well, appreciate that. Now, who are they playing tonight?
We're playing Mississippi State.
Okay, Mississippi State.
As long as there ain't no daggum cowbell and rough, we're fine. But that's another thing in sports. How can they get away with having them stupid cowbells at football and nobody else can have a noisemaker? I
don't know. They ought to do away with that.
We need to get that SEC commissioner on the pod and ask him that.
If you got that kind of pull, you go right ahead.
Well, I'll just get a hold of Feinbaum and we'll go from there.
There you go. Speaking of that, I think, speaking of Feinbaum, I think Floyd from Newmarket tried to call us last week, but I think our voicemail was full, so I had to delete all the old voicemails.
Oh, you're kidding. I was going to... Oh, dadgummit, I was going to use one of them for something that left a message. I should have wrote the info down. Oh, well.
Yeah. Maybe he'll call back soon. Man, Dave, you got me...
Oh, so they didn't stay? His message didn't stay?
No, his message was basically like, good morning, and then it cut out.
Oh, man. Floyd, give her another shot.
Yeah, Floyd, give us a call back. Our voicemail is open. I think they only allow us so many minutes.
Okay.
So our
storage was full, huh?
Yeah, got to keep that storage out. I may just throw in somebody like Cody Meyer, Dave, instead of Canterbury. Canterbury's, I'm starting to trust him a lot more.
What about Dean the Machine Rojas laying down a major boat and outboard change?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I thought he was solid with Skeeter Yamaha.
Wasn't there, see, the thing about it is, that's like the fourth Skeeter person to leave. Logan left and went to Express. He left and went to Blazer. Crap, I had them all wrote down, or all in my mind, and now
somebody went to Ranger, didn't they?
Shoot, dadgummit, I had them remembered, and now I went and forgot, man. But yeah, there was a couple that's left, which is interesting. But and some of the veterans are still there. The Joneses and the Menendezes, they're still there. But yeah, I was thinking there was another one or two that left the Mosquito family and went on down.
Yeah, it seems like there's a little bit of shakeup there. I don't know why. Maybe the Skeeter's tightening the belt.
I'll run through the elite field real quick. Keep talking, and I'll see if I can
I'll keep talking. If you guys want to see a cool video, you can go to our Facebook page, or you can probably find Alton Jones on. You go find Alton Jones' profile on Instagram. He's got a link to the video where he just went into the shop the other day, drilled a hole in a wrench, like an 8mm wrench. Dave,
saw the profile, but I didn't swipe up.
Went out and he probably caught. I don't know. I would say probably 8 or 10 bass.
Did he catch that many?
Yeah.
Did he put a split ring on it? I saw the hook, but I didn't see where he was going to tie it.
He put a split ring, an oversized split ring, with the hook just above the business end of the wrench, the open end, open face end, and he tied it on to the top, closed end. He also had a smaller one he got from IKEA, and he caught a few on that. Then he put the bigger one on there, and I think he ended up catching one about 4 pounds.
Okay.
Jigging, he was seeing them on his Panoptics, tossing out there, jigging that wrench, and they were hitting it just like they would a spoon.
I'll be darned.
Even caught a couple of crappie on it. I mean, that's pretty weird.
That is
that's crazy.
Stranger things have happened, I guess.
I guess so.
Yep. Well, I'm not having any luck, Matt. I've scanned and I'm not having any luck.
On Kentucky Lake, we don't throw anything less than a 3/4 inch or a 7/8.
Yeah. Oh, check this out. Guy I was hunting with Saturday, a friend of my friend. He's in the heavy equipment sales business. And guess who, when they take customers duck hunting, guess who they use?
Ben Parker.
Ben Parker knows him well.
Huh.
Takes customers down there. They've got a little what it takes to go type deal, and once the customer gets to that level, Parker hooks them up.
When I went on my little hunting trip up to Reelfoot back before Christmas, one of the guys we hunted with said Ben Parker's one of the hardest working guides out there for ducks.
Oh, absolutely. They said he works at it 365.
Yeah. I mean, he's out there every day, finding the ducks, finding the best spot. He works just as hard as he does for fishing as he does hunting.
Jared Lintner was the other one, Matt. He went from Skeeter to Ranger. You was right.
Mm-hmm. I knew one of them went to Ranger. It's either, there's been a bass cat rush.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like since Pink become the sales dude, Bass Cat's taken on a lot more.
And I got a peek at those new Bass Cats when I was in Union City a while back on that trip.
Yeah.
And I was pretty impressed with them. I mean, they're real deep floors in them.
I've rode, every Bass Cat I've rode in, I've been impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
Comfortable.
All right, Dave, I'm going to Andy Morgan. I'm dropping Scott Canterbury, putting Andy Morgan in there.
All right. I figured something would happen like that.
I can't go against our boy.
Heck no, you'd be dumb not to.
Total weight for me, 78 pounds.
Even. Has there ever been a major tournament won with the 0 ounces?
Yeah. There's surely sometime down the road.
Surely there has been, right?
Yeah. 78 times 4, that's 19 and a half a day. I might back her down to 76.
No, leave her up there. You're fine. Leave her up there. You're good, man.
All right.
Sounds good.
78 it is.
The only way I have a chance to win. Well, the bass guys are going to be on Lake Martin next, man.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we got the I'll tell you what, check out the Bass Insider podcast?
Yeah, I listen to them all the time.
Or Inside Bassmaster. I was just listening to the one where they're talking to Trip Weldon about Lake Martin.
Trip and his buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some good information there for you fantasy players. If you're curious about that lake, we don't see them fish Martin except for some opens now and then. And it's actually an interesting lake. I didn't know it until I looked at it on the map, Dave. It's really spread out kind of like Table Rock.
They say you take your hand and put all your fingers and you get Martin.
Exactly. And, other lakes that remind me of that is Tim's Ford is really sprawled out, really like a spider, just little legs and coves everywhere.
Speaking of Tim's Ford, look at old Jinkle getting a win over the weekend.
Yeah. Did he get the sprinkles on his cone?
He had a picture, and I said, boy, you don't even put it on there without any sprinkles.
Well, we got the also we've got the final count. We got everybody back. Not everybody, but we've got just about everybody back for season 3 of TOSSSFL. The Draft League is coming back again, Dave, next Tuesday, providing we have a show. Everything goes well. Next Tuesday night is going to be the draft conference call after our show.
For real.
For real. It's on.
All right.
Bringing back everybody we had last year, I think, except for one exception, and the alternate or new addition this year is our mountain man, Roger Dudra. You've probably seen him on Bassmaster Fantasy's Facebook page. He's a real number cruncher. He and I love working our spreadsheet, Dave. We talk a lot about that.
Spreadsheet Unite.
I think he's called Walking Eagle on the Bassmaster Fantasy page. By the way, check us out. Check out the Outdoor Scoreboard group on Bassmaster's Fantasy page. I think we are up almost to 800 people last I checked.
No kidding.
Yeah. We're like the third biggest group right now. Giving away prizes every event. Get you some little baits, little lures for every event if you win.
Speaking of eagles, Matt, I hunted Saturday and Sunday with no luck. Tough weekend. Monday, I told my buddy's dad, I said, I ought to just call in sick tomorrow. Dadgummit, I ought to stay here and hunt with you. And lo and behold, they didn't get out there quick enough to get one of their ducks, and here comes an eagle picking it up.
And got it. I've heard that happen a few times. Actually, I've seen one get one of our cripples on the ice one day. It was pretty neat to watch. We just went ahead and said, "Go ahead."
Yeah, have at it.
You got to eat too.
You need it, have at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot live meal right there. The duck was crippled walking on the ice.
Yeah, fresh.
Organic.
I haven't even logged into that. Yeah, let's see. Well, what the heck? Create a team. Must be looking the wrong place. There it is. Sign.
That's going to be an interesting event there at Lake Martin. When you look at all the Alabama anglers that are spread out throughout the buckets.
Yeah, that ought to be a fun one.
Man, I think right now I've got a team put together. I think 4 of my 5 guys are all Alabama guys that probably live within 100 miles of that lake.
Really?
Give or take, yeah. Some live actually on one of the creeks.
Well,
one of them
there
does.
you go.
So we'll get into that. That we got a couple more weeks to do those picks, but we'll have the draft next week, so that should be fun. Try to find maybe we might be able to get the FLW winner on early next week. If we can work our connections right.
That's great. What? I'm doing something wrong, man.
What you doing, Dave? Trying to get into bass?
I'm in and I'm signed in, and I'm trying to get into put my name into groups. Must be doing something wrong. Create an entry. Oh, where do you get your? Okay.
Yeah, you got to create a team before you get into groups.
What's going on now? Yeah. I need to make one just to get there and then tweak it later.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Let's see.
I need to tell our buddy Mullins to stop duck hunting. He's having too much fun over there in Arkansas or wherever he is duck hunting.
He must be killing them.
He's killing them. I tell you what, it's time to start thinking about fishing. I think he was back home getting the old wrap on the boat, on the Triton.
He might as well.
Getting that new Doomsday Tackle 2018 wrap.
Didn't he go with, I think he went with a Verado this year.
He might have.
I didn't
notice.
I was thinking somebody else I saw went with a Verado.
You're talking about going back to Rojas. Talk a little bit more about that Suzuki. He's going with Suzuki.
Suzuki's coming on strong.
Was that make 6 anglers now, or is he the 7th?
It's 5 or 6.
Yeah. Of course, Brandon Card has probably had it the longest, maybe the longest.
Yeah, he kind of started the whole deal.
And it seems like Dean was impressed with the lack of necessity for maintenance or service. Not maintenance, but service.
Yeah.
For them. So hopefully that will pay off in the long run, and have fewer breakdowns. You won't really need a crew there. What happens though, Dave, if he does have something go down?
Well, that's when the closest dealer comes in.
Yeah.
Matt, I just made the outdoor scoreboard have its 801st.
There's no reward for that.
Oh, there ought to be. The old 801.
The old 801.
Oh, man. Who's Angler's Channel? What are they doing in front of us? What the heck?
They're getting into the game this year.
Angler's Channel. Beat Ronnie Moore. That's funny.
Yeah.
It's private. What the heck? Who does that?
I tried to get in. I thought he was on an Instagram video the other day and said the password was beat Ronnie Moore, all one word, but it didn't get me in there. He might have changed it.
Your dang thing private? I mean, come on.
I know. Maybe he saw there was too many people and he got scared. I mean, you can bring it on.
Password.
Beat David Rose. Beat Matt Ellis. Come on.
Dude, no, I would not make that because I would be in last and everybody would be like, "We did beat you." I'd be like, "I know, it's not that bad."
Yeah. I mean, don't just pat yourself on the back. It's not that hard to beat us.
Yeah,
you're the one.
Huh? Ronnie Moore with a password. What's up with that? He needs to go to the barbershop and get a new password.
He's got one of them Alabama kid haircuts, doesn't he?
Oh my gosh, throw it over. Ronnie Moore.
That's what I call that, the Alabama fan hairdo.
Why do you call it that? I need to know why.
If you ever just look at any of the frat guys, they're Alabama fans at his game.
Oh,
they got those big hairs.
Yeah, but he's Carolina. Ain't he from like East Carolina or something?
He might be, but I think he's a Bama fan, ain't he?
Oh, everybody has to be a fan when they go to work there.
I guess so. I guess that's on, probably next to "Are you an American citizen?" on the job application. Trip probably has something like, "Are you an Alabama fan? Yes or no?"
No, it says, "What's the greatest saying in sports?" If you don't say "Roll Tide," you're
right.
out.
You put War Eagle on there, they probably kick you out.
Texas Kayak Fishing Podcast, Matt, is a deal there.
That might be one you can win a kayak in.
I'm going to join it.
One of our old guests, Cody Prather, got a victory in a kayak tournament last weekend.
Oh yeah, where at?
Somewhere there down in Texas, I believe.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, congrats to him. Got him a little spending money. We need to get Cody back on sometime soon. Haven't talked to him since the Classic. Well, we had him on the show, but we met him at the Classic.
Yeah.
That was fun. Most of it.
Bits and pieces.
Speaking of the Classic, we're going to be there again this year. And Dave, I just had an idea today. You know how when we were at we were at Greenville last time, didn't we set up at somebody's booth and actually record a show live?
We did.
And had Mullins there with us?
Yes. Wasn't it one of his? This was before Doomsday. It was one of his. Was it Mercury or was it...
We were right next to ABA, I thought. Maybe he just joined us over there.
Maybe we set up with ABA because the two Nashville boys was there. We talked about it.
Yeah. So we'll have to figure out, maybe I can find somebody who will let us set up. Maybe we can set up over at the Strike King booth.
There or, I know a couple people probably have a booth or two.
Yeah. I mean, we may do one day.
Let's set up in the Edwin Evers pecan booth and just eat pecans while everybody else podcasts.
There you go.
Have a sample platter.
Yeah. But we're going to try to, I think we ought to try to do that at least for a little bit. Maybe even Instagram, maybe not record a show, but Instagram even.
Instagram Live.
Instagram Live. And might work on pulling in a special guest or two. Because I know we've got some listeners coming down there, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be... I can think of one from Georgia, one from Ohio, and everywhere in between, probably.
Is Mr. Frog and Dirty Jeff Hollander coming?
No. I'd say that's too far.
Oh, man.
He just happened to be in his backyard last night.
Yeah. It'd almost be worth it to fly him out just to have him around.
Dude, that is the truth, man. That is a good time when Jeffrey shows up.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good time, it's your fault, not his.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. When he asked if he could pick the trophy up and they let him, it was on.
It was on. He did the right pose, too.
It did, yeah. Put it up there above your head and act like you the champ.
Have you read today's Bass Blaster?
I haven't read a Bass Blaster in a long time.
Check it out. There's one of the very first feature that Kumar puts on there is this, I'm putting air quotes, secret color of a rattle trap that works at Rayburn that apparently nobody's supposed to know about. I heard about it a few weeks ago, and I looked at it and said, that's pretty neat. It's called Retro Crawl. It's just like a Rayburn red crawl, except wherever there's gold trim of like the shell, it's white, solid white. And I think the top 5 finishers at one of the big tournaments they had last weekend down there, I think we're all throwing it.
I'll be darned.
Interesting color choice.
I'll give you my opinion of the Bass Blaster since you brought it up. If I had time to sit in front of 18 social media apps and look at everybody's fishing page, I could do a Bass Blaster if I had time.
Yeah.
All that stuff, it's repurposed social media posts.
It's consolidating.
With a few emails thrown in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody else is doing the work for you. And
yeah, I mean, he takes a picture from Swindle's Twitter and says, look at this. Well, I just did 3 days ago.
Yeah, a lot of it we've seen before.
And then he's got Van Dam's Facebook picture, and you're like, well, look at this. Well, I already did.
Yeah, half of it, yeah, you're right. You've seen it already by the time he gets it together.
You're like, I've already seen that. What's the deal? Like, anyway.
Well, Dave, some of us aren't on social media all the time.
I know, but I'm just saying half that stuff is like, that's recycled. You just re-gifted that to me.
Yeah. I hear you.
Anyway.
Well, you say we wrap up right there.
Hey, I'm done.
I'm done, too. I think I'm going to eat a little supper and get the show up. And look forward to next week. It's going to be fun. We'll try to get a guest on early, Dave, and have kind of an abbreviated regular show. And we'll jump into the conference call draft. It's going to be fun. Going to have 9 anglers, including returning champion Tony Posey, the champ.
Oh.
So he's looking for a repeat.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I like it. I like that kind of stuff. It's fun.
I can tell. Get your spreadsheets ready.
Get them ready. All right. Thanks for everybody for listening. Hey, shoot us an email and let us know what you think about the show. If you got any guests or stories you want to share, have them put on the show. We'll put them on there. theoutdoorscoreboard@gmail.com. Or was it TOS Fishing Podcast on Instagram?
That's the IG, yeah.
Yep, that's our IG at TOS Fishing Podcast. Or Twitter at The Outdoor Score. Say hey to us on there. Facebook as well. Appreciate you guys listening. We're going to get off here. And Dave, I will holler at you next week.
Have a good one.
See ya.